got a chance to see the new Emma Thompson film, Dead of Winter. Let's talk about this movie right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to jump right into this new Emma Thompson film. I am a big fan of Emma Thompson, and I'll tell you why in a second. But first, I want to say that this was a blind screening, okay? So AMC runs this thing, usually on Monday nights. It was a one-time screening. Sometimes they have two, like we just did with the Eleanor the Great. I almost puke in my mouth when I say that. It's funny when I was looking at some people's reviews of that, or like one-line things on Facebook or whatever else, how great the movie was. And I'm like, oh my God, I have a far different opinion. But here we had the screening. Again, it was only one, so if I had missed it, then, you know, it wasn't like I had another shot. Because I looked at AMC this week, and I'm like, man, there are 3 movies that I want to see this week. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to see 3. I'm only going to be able to see 2, because we had Dead of Winter coming out this week, which I really wanted to see. And then One Battle After Another with DiCaprio. And the Strangers movie, of which I'm a fan of that whole series. So I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm going to have to not see one. And boom, this showed up on Mondays. I'm like, great, 1 out of 3 is down. So I can see all 3 now. But let's get into the actual plot. First of all, as a filmmaker, I'm from New York originally. But I haven't lived in, like, cold weather for a long time. Because I went from New York. When my first year of school, I went in Connecticut. That was worse than New York. That was ice, baby. Then my family moved to Florida, so I moved to Florida. I went to school in Boca. Then I went to UCF after that. And that's where I graduated from. And then from there, I stayed in Florida for 10 years or whatever. And then I moved to Tennessee, which again, unless you're in the Smoky Mountains, the snow didn't really stick. Then I moved to LA, and I was there for almost 20 years. No snow there unless you go up to Big Bear. And then I moved here to Atlanta. So in Atlanta, it gets cold, but not real cold. It doesn't, the snow here, it was a couple of days that we got snowed in, but snowed in here is, snowed is this tall. Not like in New York where it was like tall. So as a filmmaker, I would absolutely hate shooting in an outdoor snowy area. I mean, a month of that, getting up every morning and having to go, and oh my God, that would be like a nightmare for me. So this film, of course, was not shot in the U.S. From what I could tell, it was shot in Germany. There was a couple of soundstage stuff that was shot in L.A. But Germany, Finland, and Belgium. Which is funny because it has 3 locations, and then I think they did some stuff in LA that was just maybe soundstage stuff, or maybe it was just post. There was only 4 locations, and they had 3 different countries to go to. That makes no sense. The only way I can see that making any kind of sense is that, because I saw in the beginning that they had financed, some of those countries had financed the film, so maybe part of the deal was that part of the film had to be shot in each one of those countries. That was the only thing I can think of, is that they were trying to share, to get an investment, they had to shoot there. And all 3 of these countries contributed, a third of the money, and boom. Because you had where the cabin was, you had the roads, because they showed constant roads. So you had Emma Thompson's house, you had Judy Greer's house, and which is also the flashback house, is also Emma's house, and then the lake and the road. Yeah, so only four. So I don't know. I don't know how they divided that up, but that's how they did it. So they had to travel all throughout all those countries to get this done. And I'm also confused about the fact that they had used SAG. This is the second and third time I saw this. That even though they're outside of the country and the unions do not apply, they're still using SAG. And the only reason I can think of that being the case is because the actors themselves are pressing that so that they can get their fringes. They can get their retirement and everything else paid for, and their insurance. That's the only reason I can think of that. So this was, I don't know, I can't find the budget anywhere. But all I can think of is that it was a lower budget film, especially being shot outside the country. If this was over 20 million, I'd be shocked, because it's probably the heating bill. Because most of this was not shot on a soundstage. I mean, they were outside because they had these huge sweeping shots with the actors. I mean, where they're small and stuff like that. And yes, you could use doubles and things to that effect. But, I mean, there was this wide panoramic view of, with Emma Thompson, like, in the forefront, with the whole lake behind her and stuff like that. So, unless they were using, a huge volume wall, I think it was shot on location. And I think that was part of the deal anyway. So I still can't imagine being that cold. She had mittens on and no mittens on at times. So she was like no protection on her hands for a lot of that. I mean, I shot a cabin movie in LA where we had fake snow brought in, and it looked pretty good, I gotta say. But we didn't do any of those sweeping shots. I mean, it was a cabin. You had they sprayed some of the trees in the background, and that was it. It wasn't this long, where you could see for like half a mile behind the camera. So they were on the other side of the coin. Now I thought about this. I did not see huge amounts of smoke leaving their mouths. Oh, now I'm really confused. Now I have to see some scenes again to see if there was smoke leaving their mouths. Huh. I don't remember seeing any smoke leaving anybody's mouth as they spoke. Maybe I'm wrong completely. Maybe it was all friggin' a volume wall. I don't know. I do not know. Maybe it was just B-roll, that one thing. I gotta look at that. Movie magic, man. Movie magic. And maybe it was. Maybe it's a volume wall where they brought fake snow in and stuff like that. You can't put it past it nowadays. So there was a lot of VFX in there. I looked at the credits. Very interesting stuff. Anyway, before we go into any further, remember to give me a like, give me a subscribe if you can. Share this video out there, because I am going to go into the fact that people should see this film. But we're going to talk about why. Also remember, too, that I'm a writer myself, and you can check out my stuff on Amazon. Just type my name in, Frank Zanko, or there's a link in the description below. You'll see my 4-novel sci-fi quadrilogy. It's an epic thing. It's like a combination of Guardians, Star Trek, Star Wars. So it's got little pieces of everything, because that's the kind of stuff I like. And you can even see, Nichelle behind me, who played the original Uhura. But anyway, it's a really fun little series, and it was made into a board game, an RPG, and a graphic novel. It's also on Audible if you want to check that out. It's really fun on Audible because it's got a couple of different voices in it. And then you can check out my YA fantasy novel, Tales of Ravenor the Iron Witch. So if you're into fantasy, Lord of the Rings, or Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, you're going to find a lot of similarities there, because I do have magic in there, and I have dragons and all this other stuff in there. Plus my new graphic novel, Fairy Tales of Terror. I'm doing very, very well with it. based on the support that I've gotten. We are about to pass $8,500. We're over 300% funded. So definitely jump in there now. It's about Psycho Cinderella and Killer Captain Hook being chased around New York City by Tiger Lily from Neverland. They have a nefarious plan, and we don't know what it is yet. It's going to be lots of fun. We've unlocked a bunch of free stretch goals. So not only are you jumping into the stuff you're buying, but you're getting free stuff on top of that. So go to the QR code here, link description below. There's only 5 days left, so don't wait any longer. Get in there now. All right, so let's jump back into Dead of Winter because I really enjoyed this film. I thought I would really enjoy it, but I enjoyed it even more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. So this reminded me of Wind River. If you haven't seen Wind River, go see it, or track it down on streaming because it was great. This had Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, of course, from Marvel. I think he was a hunter, and she was like a budding FBI agent. And also the guy who plays the Punisher is also in that movie. So we have 3 Marvel guys. But that's an excellent film. Also takes place in the winter. Really, really good stuff. And if you haven't seen that, definitely jump out and see that. But as far as Emma Thompson's concerned, she's an executive producer on this. And I think she did that not only for herself, but her daughter is also in this movie, Gaia Wise. She plays the young version of her character, Barb. And I've never seen Judy Greer play a villain. Of course, she's also from Marvel. She played an Ant-Man and the Wasp. She was like his ex-wife. And she plays a great villain. Holy cow. And the funny part is that there's men in this film. Mark Mencasa is in here. I just saw him in Companion. He played a cop in Companion. He has a really, really good look. And then Brian O'Byrne has a small role in here. And then let's talk about the writers and the director. So the first thing I want to talk about is the writers, okay? So this is a pretty contained film because it has a very limited cast. It only has, as I said, 4 locations. But here's the funny part. The writers here, there's 2 of them. One's a composer, and one is an actor who has a very tiny role in the film. This is the first time they've written anything. I thought it was based on a book, but I looked it up and it's not. First-time writers, I say that they did a damn good job. They did a really good job. And that also is a testament to the director, Brian Kirk. He does a lot of television, like cable television shows and streaming shows. But it's a really big testament to him because he was able to keep, and it's over not over 2 hours, but just about 2 hours, and he keeps the pace moving. You are never bored in this film. So he's directed Luther, Game of Thrones, Day of the Jackal, just a Boardwalk Empire I love, Dexter. I mean, he has like 30 different directing credits, and this goes to show you, because I also saw the Afterburn film, and it goes to show you because the director that's the key. It's so the writing and the directing, but remember that the director can come in and change the writing. If he can come in and say, even the actors can come in and say, look, my character wouldn't say this, I need this rewritten, which was one of the problems of dealing with Henry Cavill on The Witcher, where he was like, nah, man, the writers need to come in there and fix this shit. And he got such pushback that he said, fuck you all, I'm out. But anyway, so the director, if he doesn't feel like something's working, he's able to go in there and, and say, no, I need a rewrite. So it's, but I say the directing here is extremely good. See, I've been a fan of Emma Thompson. I know that she was in Harry Potter. Everybody really knows her from Harry Potter. But that's not where I know her from. I mean, yes, of course, I do know her from Harry Potter, but I was already older when Harry Potter was coming out. So Harry Potter, for me, wasn't this big franchise like it was for a lot of other people that grew up on it. Fanboy thing came from Dead Again. If you have not seen Dead Again, I love that movie. I just saw it again like 6 months ago. I pulled the DVD out and watched it again. But it's a great, great film. It's Kenneth Branagh as an actor, not a director. And Robin Williams also has a very small role in here. And it's about... I might just do a review on that one because I don't think anybody's really seen it. So I'll hold off on doing anything with that. But she was very, very young in there. And I highly recommend that movie. And, you know, she was younger in there. She doesn't have the gravitas that she has now, even as an older woman. In fact, I've had a lot of women saying, oh, there's no older women, and, you know, they're always playing the grandma or whatever. Now, here's two movies that just came out, or coming out back to back, that have older women in it. So she is 66, and you know, you can call that old and call that not old. I'm getting up there too. I gotta be careful about what I call old. And I just saw, you know, the Scarlett Johansson film. You know, I just mentioned that, the Eleanor the Great, and she's 95. The main actress in there is 95. So there's definitely plenty of roles, not plenty, but there are some roles now coming out with older women in them. And I really hope that this doesn't put anybody off from seeing this film. Because I really want this film to do well. I really do. And because it has all the makings of an extremely good film. And I know that, you know, she put her heart into it because also her daughter was in it as well. So, you know, it was a dual-edged blade for her. And I think that the daughter was also played one of the main voice in the War of the Rohirrim, Lord of the Rings thing, which the writing on that was garbage. But her thing is that her in the film, her husband dies. And she's going out, which is weird because the lawyer tells her and gives her a map, but her and her husband were very close. I would feel that the will would not be a surprise to her. That part was weird to me. I think that part needed a rewrite, but that's nitpicking as far as I'm concerned because the writing overall is very good. You know, she has his ashes, and she's going to, I guess it's a place where they had their first date, so we have these flashbacks of them younger, and, you know, I guess they would drill into the ice and do ice fishing. That's where he wanted his ashes. So that was her reason for being here. And then, of course, the whole rest of the nefarious stuff happens with Judy Greer. Where it basically becomes a war between the two women, because again the men don't last, man. But anyway, it becomes a war of wills between the two women, and it's very, very interesting. And damn, was Judy Greer scary in this. But I highly, highly recommend the film. I go out and see it on a big screen because you do have these big sweeping ice, you know, horizons that they have in all these countries. They speak with a Canadian accent almost. So I think that they're trying to say it's in Canada. They never say where it is. But I think they kind of try to imply that it's in Canada. But, you know, it's very obvious that, you know, based on the credits and stuff like that it was not, I don't think any of it was shot in Canada. Again, I think that was a financing thing. But anyway, on a scale from 1 to 10, I am going to give this a 8 to an 8.5. Very, very good film. It will keep your attention, even though it's a very consolidated film about what's going on. Literally, it takes place within a mile. A mile of of the lake and the house. It's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. and she even turns on a little bit of the of her comedic talent as well, because she does have comedic talent for sure. Like she's in the middle of talking to somebody and then she goes, "Wait, what?" and then she lights something on fire and realizes they thought the fire goes out, but she realizes almost too late that it hasn't, and the look on her face was great. So yeah, it was so fun watching it. It really was, and I could not. The end is not what I was expecting. I'll just give it that. And but anyway, go see it. Go see it. That's all I'm going to say. Remember to give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can't subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. Share this video out there for sure. Let people know that it's coming out and they should go. And then on top of that, check out all my stuff on Amazon. Type my name in, link description below. And definitely in the last 5 days, check out Fairy Tales of Terror. QR code here, link in description below. You're going to have lots of fun with that one as well. All right, have a good one, guys. Have a great week, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye-bye.